All right, so this apparently is an epidemic. This has come up in the show history in the past. So we have talked about similar things, but it's really getting out of control. And I'm thinking we should probably try to go to phones on this and see if we can find some victims of this egregious situation. So I know we've mentioned this a couple of times over the last couple of years that we've been back here with the MJ Morning Show round number 2, our return, our reincarnation here. But there was a story that I saw over break from the Wall Street Journal. And if I say Sandwich Snaggers, burrito bandits, anything come to mind? Something we have talked about previously?
Oh, at a grocery store when someone's sandwich is made and then someone else comes and takes it without paying for it.
Good.
That is correct.
That's the real answer. Yep.
It is happening a lot.
I thought you were talking about seagulls or something.
Right, but what's going on, like when you go to Publix, can you pay for your if you order like a sub at Publix, and I've never done that. I've never had a sub made at Publix.
Oh, you don't know what you're missing.
You've never had a pub sub?
But I'll tell you what, I see a line there all the time. I mean, I go to the deli counter. Just the other day, I picked up a pound of Boar's Head White American with a 1.5 slice. But
you're not a sub guy, though.
No, I don't mind a sub. I don't mind having a sub. I just have never had a Publix sub.
It's a good sub.
I didn't have one, but Chloe had me take her to Jimmy John's last night. She got a Jimmy John sub on Kennedy last night.
Another good sub.
So the story is, and we've talked about this, there are some places where at Publix, they'll have the pre-made sub bin. So I think, can you order the sub on the app?
You order it, they make it, they have it there for you. You take your sub.
But then you take your sub and you got to check out at the...
Or you pay on the app. I don't know.
So I that's what I don't know about Publix. But the point is that so many of these restaurants, you can pay for your item, you can pay for your food, your burrito, your sandwich, whatever, and then it's in the pickup area at these stores or at these restaurants. What is happening, and it's been happening for a while, and it has become an epidemic here, that people's food is being swiped all over the place. This is like nationwide. So I guess the question I have for you, our MJ Morning Show listening peepee audience here, have you had any of your food items boosted? Have you had your food ripped off where you ordered on an app or you called in or you went to a website and you went to pick up your item and it was gone? There are folks that know the places that have a ton of to-go or pickup orders that, and listen, it's happened. You know what? We talked about it with DoorDash and what are the DoorDash and Uber Eats, where these restaurants will have an area where they'll line up all of the Uber Eats and the DoorDash pickups, and there are people that'll go in and just grab those items and steal them. So that's another element that we've talked about. Hey, let's grab. Oh, look at the phones. I haven't even given out the phone number yet, and the phones are off the hook over here. All right, I'll tell you. Let me give out the number: 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. If you've placed an order for food on an app or whatever, and you go into the place to pick it up, and it's been swiped or something similar, I'd love to hear from you. 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. Or maybe you're a Uber Eats or a DoorDash driver, and maybe you went to pick up an order and somebody already stole it.
Why don't they do like when you're like turning in a propane tank at Home Depot and they have those doors? You ever done that?
Well, I don't go to Home Depot. I go to Hank Hill for my
propane and propane accessories.
Bobby. All right.
So
you pay for the propane.
I went to Tijuana Flats a couple months ago, and I think I might have even talked about it on the program. But they moved their rack for the Uber Eats drivers.
You did. See,
they moved it behind the counter.
We did talk about this, so I know this is another item that we did talk about, that you pointed out that they moved their pickup rack because too much of their food items that were being ordered by customers were being ripped off.
I talked to the manager. He said thousands of orders from one store disappear.
Thousands of orders?
Thousands. Maybe like 1,002.
Wow.
Thousands.
I can't imagine it's thousands.
Listen,
That's a lot of
But
food.
this is a big deal. So we've talked about this. Wall Street Journal had a story over our Christmas break, and it was a whole story about missing items. Where's my burrito? Hangry diners vent over swipe-to-go orders. After a rough workday, Shane Rangunen thought that he'd save time by placing a pickup order at Firehouse Subs for an Italian sub and double chocolate chip cookie. Then he arrived to grab his meal. It was gone. You think to yourself, at least, I'll have lunch and time to myself, said Mr. Rangunen, a 28-year-old paralegal here in Florida. Next thing you know, someone comes right in and steals your food. His missing $12 order is among a spate of vanished food incidents befuddling diners and staff at restaurants with to-go shelves.
and that's just it. Once they put it on the shelf, they're done with it. It's in the world.
Panera Bread, Firehouse Subs, Chipotle Mexican Grill, and other chains are apologizing to diners who complain on social media, and some restaurants are keeping closer tabs on pickup shelves. So this is a 5-page story from the Wall Street Journal at the end of December about food getting swiped. All right, let's go to phones on this. If you've ever had your food stolen, you ordered it, you go to pick it up, and somebody went in and grabbed it. Because these people know it's prepaid. It's already paid for. They walk in and they grab free lunch.
And you walk out and nobody questions you.
Or if you're an Uber Eats driver or one of the delivery drivers, have you gone to pick up an item and that got ripped off? All right, 800-990-1047 is how you dial into the MJ Morning Show. 800-990-1047. Phyllis is in Brandon. Hey, Phyllis, welcome to the MJ Morning Show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
What happened?
I ordered my food. This happened to me a couple of times. I've ordered my food at Wawa, go and pay for it, and then I go back to pick it up, and someone else has already picked it up.
Okay. And, Wawa, a place like that, there's a lot of traffic in there. You have tons of people, pumping gas, going in to grab something, and it's more conducive, I think, because you've got a lot of traffic and nobody knows. So you've paid for your item, you go into Wawa, and so you can pay for it online, right?
You could pay for it online, or you could order it at the kiosk there, and then take your ticket and go pay for it. And then,
but you've had the pre-orders ripped off. You go to pick it up and it's gone.
I am very proficient with Wawa ordering, and you order at the kiosk, then you go pay for it.
Yeah, I've done
Once
that.
it's paid for, they make it and put it on the shelf. They call your number 102.
You go pay for it, but then you got to bring your ticket back.
But then after they announce the number, they're done with it, and somebody can swipe it if you're not there down that second.
Hey, Phyllis, thanks for the call. Look, phones are loaded here. Alberto is in Tampa. Hey, Alberto, welcome to the MJ Morning Show.
Welcome, guys. It's like the third time I talked to you, so I'm very happy about it.
Well, Alberto, it's great. Third time's a charm. Thanks for phoning in. All right, what happened to you?
Well, I can give you the insight on both sides of the coin because I'm a restaurant manager / DoorDash and Uber driver.
All right, so what has your experience been?
Well, as a restaurant manager, I got actually supposedly real drivers picking up meals and not being delivered to the right place, and a lot of them. So it's like they're stealing it.
Yep.
And then we have to remake the food or talk to the third-party platform so they can, make another ticket and we made the food. And as an Uber, I can tell you some places have very easy access to the food. It shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, that's the problem, is that people can just walk into these places, and you've got certain establishments where they have the pickup area for customers or the food delivery company pickup, and someone just walks in, grabs it, and boom, they're gone. Alberto, great to hear from you again. We'll wait for your fourth call. Thank you, buddy. Let's grab Mike in St. Pete. Mike, you're on the MJ Morning Show, Q105. Hi.
How you doing?
We're doing well. What happened?
Just an Uber Eats driver calling in to say that happens all the time.
All right, give us an example. What are some of the places where you've gone to pick up an Uber Eats delivery and somebody already stole it?
Chick-fil-A used to be the main one, but they finally switched their rack to where they can actually see it. They used to have it behind a door, right by the entrance. Where
Wow.
when you walk in the entrance, you can just pick it up and nobody would see you. Now they actually have it where they can see where you're at, where it's at.
Wow. And when was the last time that it happened where you went to pick up an order and it was gone?
Let's say 4 or 5 days ago.
Where was that one? Do you remember?
That was at a Chick-fil-A in Tyrone Boulevard.
Wow. All right. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
Have a good day.
All right. Christy's in Pasco. Christy, MJ Morning Show, you're up. Go ahead.
Hey, I actually used to work for Publix for years, as a matter of fact. And then when somebody goes online and they actually get a sub and they order it, they can pay online. They put a little green sticker on there. That's how they know the difference that it's paid. And we would put it in the pickup area, but then people would come by and take it. So it got so bad that they actually started keeping the ones with the green labels that people paid for in a different holding area that wasn't out where people could just grab it.
Because people started to learn that the green sticker meant that, hey, green go, you can take it because it was paid for.
Exactly, and it really ended up being quite a significant problem. And
Now, Christy, when you say quite a significant problem, like how many times a day would somebody rip off a green stickered paid for sub at your Publix?
At the one I was at, I would say it at least happened in a normal maybe 8-hour day, probably like I'd say 4 or 5 times a day. And that just happened to be the location I was at.
Which Publix was it?
This was when I worked in Georgia. I had just moved back down here in June.
Gotcha.
This is when I was in Georgia. But just to say it was like a nationwide problem.
Oh, yeah, listen, it's happening everywhere. You know, you get the Wall Street Journal writing stories on this now. Christy, thanks for listening. Anything else?
No. I love you guys' show. I'm glad to hear you guys again. I haven't been back down in Florida in about 10 years, so it's really awesome to hear you guys again. For
Awesome.
Sure, so.
Thank you, Christy. We'll talk to you again, hopefully.
All right, definitely. Thank you.
Judy's in Spring Hill. Judy, you're on the MJ Morning Show. What happened?
Good morning.
Morning.
Going to Dunkin's, and they have those new kiosks.
Okay.
And I have to say it was a total cluster because they'd call a number. This one had the wrong order, this wrong coffee, making new coffees. It was all over the place, and they couldn't get a grip.
Yeah, but was your order stolen?
It was the person before me had her order stolen by the person in front of her. And they just completely lost it.
No, well, hold on. But was it just an accidental pickup because it was just confusion? Or was it somebody rolling off the street knowing they could just rip off a to-go order?
Couldn't tell.
Oh.
There was just so many people standing there waiting for an order to come up. They'd call a number, put it down. They wouldn't check the order numbers from the receipts.
Yeah,
people were just
that sounds like a little different situation. So, Andrew, that's not quite what we're looking for there.
Listen, MJ, you got to figure restaurants, they should sabotage this. Like make the crappiest meal, like just awful rotten food, and put it out there and let them take that.
Worm sandwich.
Yeah.
Jesse's in Riverview. Hey, Jesse.
Hey, good morning. How are y'all doing today?
Morning.
So my experience with this, I own a business. I have Uber Eats as a driver so that I can do it, when I have time to. I've tried to do it twice in my entire life. Both times I went to Panera, picked up the food, and then get out to my car to start the delivery, and the app crashes. So both times I ended up leaving with free lunch.
Oh, wow. So that's a whole different thing. And how often and if the app crashes, you lose all the delivery information and there's no recovery?
Right. So what I did in that case, they said to contact customer service. So I did. When I talked to the person, he says, I'm going to make a 3-way call with the person who placed the order.
Yeah.
And then once we get connected, he goes, okay, you guys are good. I'm going to hang up now. Well, if you're the one hosting a 3-way call and you hang up, what happens?
Yeah, everybody drops.
Exactly.
Exactly.
What are they, idiots?
Equals free lunch for Jesse.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
All right, thank you.
Good for you.
Thank you, Jesse. Kevin is in town. All right, a couple more, then we got to move on. But, man, the phones have exploded here. Kevin, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
How you doing? We went to the Publix on Hillsborough Avenue, and on Super Bowl Sunday. So you can imagine how packed the deli area was.
Oh, yeah.
But as soon as we walked in there, we saw somebody take my cousin's sandwich, and we couldn't say nothing because we literally just walked in the door. We was too far away. So when he saw the person, he was like, that guy probably took my sandwich. He was just joking. But when we got close, the guy really took his sandwich.
People probably do this every day. They probably get lunch every day.
Hey, listen, the woman that called that worked at a Publix in Georgia said it was happening 4 or 5 times a day. People were stealing the green stickered subs.
I'll be looking for some chicken tender subs.
Seriously, between confusion or just thievery, it happens a lot.
On purpose.
Anything else, Kevin?
Yeah, like in Firehouse, too. Like, you know, you can walk in Firehouse subs. They got the rack right there. You can always, they so easy, yeah.
There has to be a way to prevent this.
But that's it for me, though. Just don't go in there Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah. Hey, Kevin, thanks for listening, buddy. Hey, Andrews, 2 more calls, and then we got to move on because we got some other freaky stuff to talk about. So, Tina in Brooksville, last 2 calls on this thing. Tina, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hi. I have a similar situation where I walked into Wawa, me and my daughter. We ordered 2 large shakes. We went up to after we left the kiosk, we went over to the clerk to get them, and she said, well, some lady and her kid just walked out with your drinks.
Great. So
yeah, just right in front of us. And they had ordered a small tea and left their tea there and took our 2 large shakes.
Well, obviously, it was a better deal.
I mean, it's obviously an upgrade.
Yeah, clearly an upgrade. And obviously, they remade the food for you, right?
Yes, they did. They did oblige and make our shakes again. But literally, the lady and her teenage son, probably about 13 years old, grabbed our drinks and walked out of the store.
Knowing exactly what they were doing. Tina, thanks for the call. All right, last call. Troy is in Land Lakes. Hello, Troy. You're on the MJ Morning Show. Go ahead.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, I've been doing Uber since 2018, Uber Eats, and just this weekend at Glory Days, I went to pick up a double order, and I got the first one, and I told the attendant there the name of the second one. He said, oh, someone already picked that up. And I told him, well, someone's stealing it then, because I'm the only one that knows where it's going to go because I have it on my phone.
Yep.
And the young man seemed to not care. And that I've seen that before, where it seems like the folks at the restaurant don't seem to care about it. And there's nothing I can do because they've taken the food. Another point I'd like to make is I believe Chipotle's is the worst. Like, so I've been doing Uber for over 5 years now, and Chipotle's will have a large crowd, and they'll just have so much food out, and it gets snagged there all the time.
Yeah.
So your experience is Chipotle is the worst for this food theft.
Just because they're so busy.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
It's so busy, and then the crowd there is a little bit younger and a little bit more impulsive.
More criminal?
Statistically, I would say a little bit more daring.
So stick to your fingers. Hey, before I let you go, Troy, because you do drive Uber Eats, and I've noticed now over the last, I would say, 4 or 5 months, and I've talked about in the past all of the Uber Eats or DoorDash delivery drivers delivering food in my neighborhood, like, 6:30, 7 o'clock, 7:30 at night, because every night I walk my dogs for a couple of miles after I finish my afternoon show from my home. And what I've noticed over the last 4 or 5 months is I've noticed a marked reduction in the number of food deliveries. I see far fewer DoorDash or Uber Eats delivering food in the neighborhood. Is that something that you're seeing as well? Has there been a reduction because of the economy?
I personally don't think so. Where I live, I live in Land Lakes, and there's a ton of families, and that's who I deliver to usually. And we have a lot of restaurants. I don't really go into Tampa anymore. I kind of just stay in my area, and I haven't really had a drop off.
You'd figure it'd be throughout the area, regardless of what part of town you lived in. Just the economy affects everybody.
All right.
It does, but I'm just saying, for me personally, I haven't. I can go out. I just do it as a side thing, and on any given day, I can make a lot of money on dinner time. And
yeah, so if you're doing Uber Eats, then obviously you're getting booked and moving. I'm just saying anecdotally, in my South Tampa neighborhood, I'm just seeing far fewer of the food delivery vehicles in the neighborhood during dinner time, during my dog walking. Hey, Troy, thanks for the call, buddy.
Hey, take care, guys.
You bet.